There are moments in life when you feel a pull, a whisper, a nudge that doesn't come from logic or fear, but from something deeper, higher, wiser. You feel guided, protected, directed, even when the path doesn't make sense. The question is, how do you know it's real? How do you know God is the one steering your steps? Today, you'll uncover the signs, the strength, and the clarity that show you you're not walking alone. You're being led. You know God is directing your life when He begins pulling you out of the places where you once felt comfortable and placing you into situations that stretch you in ways you never expected. It often begins quietly, a feeling of restlessness, a sense that something in your life no longer fits, an inner voice urging you to move, grow, or change. At first, you might resist it because comfort feels safe. Comfort feels familiar. But comfort is also the place where dreams go to sleep and purpose stays trapped. When God is leading your steps, He will not allow you to remain in a space that limits who you are meant to become. He will let the discomfort rise until staying the same becomes more painful than stepping into the unknown. Growth is never gentle. It transforms you, challenges you, and breaks you open in the best possible way. When God directs your life, He uses every piece of discomfort as fuel to elevate you. You will face moments where doors close suddenly, relationships shift unexpectedly, or opportunities vanish without explanation. In the moment, it may feel like loss or failure, but over time, you begin to see the patterning. Every ending was actually clearing space for a beginning. Every closed door was protection. Every disappointment was redirection. God removes what cannot go with you into the next chapter because He is preparing you for something far greater than what you would have chosen for yourself. There will be phases where your life feels like it's being shaken from every angle. You'll wonder why things that once worked no longer do. You'll question why people who once supported you suddenly pull away. You'll look at your circumstances and feel like everything is unraveling. But that unraveling is not destruction. It's transformation. God is stripping away the layers that keep you stuck in old patterns, old beliefs, and old versions of yourself. He is guiding you into a higher identity, one that requires strength, clarity, and conviction. And conviction doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in challenge. You can't discover your true power until life demands that you use it. Inside that challenging season, something else happens. You begin to unlearn fear. You start stepping into situations that once intimidated you. You start speaking truths that once silenced you. You start taking risks that once felt impossible. It's as though something inside you wakes up. A fire, a sense of purpose, a deep knowing that you are meant for more. That awakening is not accidental. It's intentional. It's God stretching your capacity so you can carry the blessings He has prepared for you. When you are being directed, your instincts sharpen. You feel a pull towards certain decisions, even when they don't make sense logically. You feel nudged away from environments that drain your spirit. You feel compelled to rise, even when the world expects you to stay down. This inner push is guidance. It's a divine force shifting you from survival to growth, from fear to faith, from limitation to expansion. And through all of this, you begin to realize something powerful: that discomfort was never the enemy. It was the signal. It was the evidence that your life was being shaped by a hand greater than your own. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. You weren't being broken. You were being rebuilt. God pushes you out of comfort not to weaken you, but to reveal the strength, courage, and purpose that were inside you all along. You can always tell God is directing your life when things begin to line up in ways you never could have scripted, forced, or predicted. There are moments when opportunities appear without you chasing them, when the right people enter your life at precisely the right time, and when solutions show up just as your strength is running out. These things aren't coincidences. They aren't luck. They're signs that something greater is orchestrating the details of your life with precision you could never manufacture through effort alone. When God is guiding you, life begins to move with a rhythm, not without challenges, but with a sense of timing that feels too perfect to ignore. You start noticing patterns. A chance conversation leads to a breakthrough. A door you thought was irrelevant becomes a path that changes everything. A setback pushes you exactly where you needed to be. Even though you didn't understand it at the moment, alignment becomes the theme. You begin to see that the moments you thought were delays were actually protection. The people who walked away were making room for those who would lift you. The plans that failed were clearing the way for something more, aligned with your true purpose. When God directs you, the wrong things fall apart, so the right things can fall into place. And here's the beautiful truth: you don't have to force what's meant for you. You don't have to beg for it. chase it, manipulate it, or prove you're worthy of it. When something is aligned with your purpose, it moves towards you with a natural flow. That doesn't mean you won't have to work or show up with discipline, but it means you won't be fighting against constant resistance. God doesn't send blessings wrapped in chaos. He sends them wrapped in clarity. And when clarity arrives, it becomes almost impossible to deny. The alignment shows up in opportunities that open effortlessly. It shows up in insights that strike you at the exact right moment. It shows up in paths you didn't even know existed until they revealed themselves. You might find yourself receiving invitations you didn't expect, meeting individuals who accelerate your growth, or discovering resources right when you need them most. These aren't random events. They're signs that God is organizing the details in a way that supports your steps. But alignment isn't just about what opens. It's also about what closes. Sometimes the clearest sign of divine direction is the door that shuts so firmly you can't reopen it no matter how hard you try. At first, it may feel like rejection, but over time, you see it for what it was: protection. There are places you were never meant to stay, relationships that were never meant to last, and opportunities that would have drained your spirit instead of elevating it. God closes doors not to punish you, but to shield you from paths that don't serve your future. Another sign is the absence of fear. Not the absence of challenge, but the absence of that internal heaviness that comes from forcing things that don't belong in your life. When something is aligned, you feel a sense of inner agreement. Even if the step ahead is big or uncertain, it feels right. It feels purposeful. It feels like part of the story you were always meant to live. And as you continue on this path, you realize something profound. Alignment is not accidental. It is intentional. It is the result of guidance, timing, and divine orchestration working together to lead you exactly where you need to be. You feel supported, not because life is perfect, but because you're no longer walking alone. You're being led by a force that sees beyond the moment, beyond the obstacle, and beyond the fear. A force that aligns everything for your highest good. You know God is directing your life when you begin to experience a kind of peace that makes no logical sense. A calm in the middle of storms, a quiet strength during uncertainty, a confidence that rises even when everything around you feels unstable. This peace isn't something you create. It's something that settles inside you, something that feels placed there. It becomes a voice that whispers, keep going. You're safe. You're guided. And this inner stillness becomes one of the clearest signs that you're not moving through life by your own power. You're being led. Life will still test you. Circumstances may still shake you. People may still disappoint you. The future may still feel unclear. But despite all of that, something inside you remains grounded. You aren't easily broken by what once overwhelmed you. You don't panic over situations that used to steal your sleep. You don't crumble under pressure the way you used to. That shift isn't accidental. It's evidence of divine direction working within you. When God guides your steps, He strengthens your spirit before He changes your situation. He gives you the peace first, then the breakthrough. There will be moments when everything around you suggests you should be worried. Finances uncertain, relationships changing, plans falling apart. But instead of drowning in anxiety, you feel a sense of stability rising from within. Not because the problems disappeared, but because you're no longer facing them alone. That inner calm becomes a shield, protecting your mind from fear and your heart from panic. You stop reacting from insecurity and start moving from faith. You stop trying to control every detail and start trusting that there is meaning in every step, even the ones that feel heavy. This peace acts like a compass. It guides you toward what is right for your life and away from what isn't. When something or someone disturbs that peace, you feel it immediately. Not as fear, but as misalignment. You start recognizing which environments drain your spirit and which ones strengthen it. You begin to understand that God doesn't guide you through fear. He guides you through peace. Peace becomes the confirmation. When something is meant for you, it brings clarity. When something is not, it brings confusion. When God directs you, peace becomes the signal that you are aligned with the right path. There is a powerful transformation that happens in this state. You begin to let go more easily. You stop clinging to people who aren't meant to stay. You stop fighting battles that aren't yours. You stop seeking validation from places that were never designed to understand your journey. Instead, you develop a deeper trust, not just in the outcome, but in the process. You start to believe that every delay is purposeful, every detour is strategic, and every struggle is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more grounded. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this inner peace is the courage it gives you. You step into challenges that once intimidated you. You take risks that once felt impossible. You walk into new seasons with a confidence that doesn't come from your history, but from your faith. You no longer fear the unknown because you feel guided through it. That guidance is not always loud. Sometimes it's a gentle nudge, a quiet knowing, a calm that settles in your heart even when the world around you is chaotic. This peace is the reminder that God is not just beside you. He is ahead of you, preparing the path. He is behind you, protecting you from what could have harmed you. And He is within you, giving you the strength to rise above every challenge with grace, confidence, and unwavering hope. When you feel this kind of peace, even in chaos, you can be certain you are being directed by a power far greater than anything that stands against you.